Let me unmute. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I was muted. Let me know if my sound gets too bad. I'm trying to monitor it over here on my end. So if I see that it goes down or crappy, then I will try something else. So please let me know if the audio gets off. In fact, what I could do. Dang it, I'll put my headphones over there. Oh, well, as you guys can see, it's just me tonight. So we will go on ahead and get to it. Um, Tonight, of course, we're going to address a little bit what happened last week. Um, and I figure it's just better to kind of get it out of the way first thing before we get into any other topics. Um, Teal will be back next week. And then I guess another programming update. We will be switching to Sunday nights or Sunday evenings. I'm not sure exactly what time. But figure football season is out. It's a good time to switch and free up my Saturday nights for a change. Throw a couple of shout outs to the people I see. I see P Stub is in the building. Miguel, Decipher. What's up, babe? See you in the chat. Peace Dove. Oh, that's right. And Atris is in the building. I guess I'm kind of just trying to wait for a little bit. Before I really get into trying to figure which approach I want to go with. First, I'll tell you guys that within the week I already had a lot of stuff going on work wise that's kind of had me all over the place, and so I hadn't really been able to really focus on a lot of the events that have been going on as much as I would normally do, as much show prep. That still is not going to stop me from being able to go into a couple of topics that I do have that I have focused on outside of this and get into some of the topics that we were not able to get into last week. Um, for those who saw the show last week, uh, my apologies to all you guys for, having to be there through all of that. Um, but another thing I want to say is, and I said this to her. I talked to Teal. My apologies to her also for having to go through what she had to go through and be treated that way. Um, as you guys can see, Chris is not here. Um, haven't talked to Chris all week. Um, don't know if I will talk to Chris. I can't say one way or the other. It doesn't make me happy to have this conversation. So I guess I'll just try to handle it the best way I can. Some pushback to some things that were going on last week. For one, the whole rant that Chris went into about somebody trying to give him advice on parenting. If you notice, nobody in there, and this is one thing I got to be honest. I'm a little disappointed in a couple people out there, and two people in particular. I'm gonna call them out by name. And when they hop into the chat, if they hop into the chat either now or they hop in later, I might stop what I'm talking about to just address them in particular. I was pretty disappointed with some of the people who were co-signing what Chris was talking about the I can't let nobody who ain't raised no kids tell me anything. Nobody told him about how to raise no fucking kids. That's right. I was trying to be calm about this. Trying to be calm about this. Nobody gave him advice on how to raise kids. So the whole thing that he's ranting about made no sense in the first place. Nobody brought up abortion. But for the people who were, I would let nobody who don't have kids tell me anything. Nobody told him anything. But plenty of you guys who jumped on the bandwagon with Chris didn't even look at the fallacy in his argument that he's building a straw man. Nobody's even talking about it. Nobody gave him advice. Out of the whole 4+ years I've known Chris. The only thing I've ever even said, even that he could have possibly taken that way, is I pleaded with him to bury the hatchet between him and his son. Do y'all consider that advice or telling somebody how to raise their kids? I mean, hold on 1 second. All right, sorry about that. I was hearing a little background noise. Mr. Street says, "What happened, man? I'm so sad now. Y'all, me, family. Well, we still family. I mean, what happened is Chris decided to blow up on me and Teal last week about abortion for some weird reason, which I don't give a damn about abortion. That's not some issue that I'm talking about all the time. I've said for the longest, my perspectives on it is as far as how abortion, the whole abortion topic works, even when I was in my political lane, my viewpoint was I'm pro choice as a policy because I don't believe in telling anybody else what to do, in particular in their life. Not when raising kids, not none of that. I don't believe in that. And I said, but I'm anti abortion for myself. So if I got a woman pregnant, I don't believe in abortion for me. That's my personal decision. That's why it's a choice, pro choice. So the whole ranting about abortion and the left is not here. The left doesn't even have power right now. So the rant even more makes no sense at all to me. What are you just felt the need to just go off on random people online who are not even listening to your rant? It doesn't make any sense. Especially when you put the attacks towards me and Teal. Now, you start talking about, and I saw Emmanuel in there even say, yeah, when they started talking to me about my wife and have been married. Well, here's something. I have been married. But Chris wasn't listening to that conversation. I did have stepsons that I was raising, one of which I'm still in contact with to this day. Another thing is, when you start getting in and ranting on what people this and that without knowing their backgrounds, I'm not going to go deep into my personal background because I don't like to do that. But I have issues that I've had between my relationship with my father, who you know, rest in peace. My father wasn't in my life for most of the time, and that bared a big bearing on me deciding to how I would go about the process of bringing a child into this world. For me, on the other hand, I don't believe in just knocking up random women and, oh, well, now that I've got her pregnant, oh, well, I guess now I need to be responsible. I feel like you be responsible before that, before bringing a child into this world. And that is why I don't have any. It ain't because I hate kids. It ain't because I never wanted to have kids. But if you're friends, you go and have this conversation and you ask them these things if this is something you're wondering about. But did Chris have any, did he ask me any of this stuff? No. And I would have went in detail and what kind of stuff that I've dealt with within my personal life. Because all of us have our own personal lives and our own personal struggles. Also, the childish stuff about it, and I'm not going to come on here to be childish about it. I'm just dealing with like the stuff that was unleashed on here. Also, you can say, well, I don't give any advice to, I won't listen to nobody, don't have any kids and giving advice. One thing I don't have respect for is somebody who will literally to their kid's face be like, I was trying to get you aborted. What is that about? What does that accomplish for you? It is disgusting hearing that. And I hated that for his son who is sitting there and he's saying that to his face while his father is on live just acting a fool. You're having a conversation, you're arguing with your parents over what is that about? If you got problems with your family, you deal with your family problems offline. You don't need to deal with that right here. And also you're dealing with that in a platform where they can't even respond to you. So you have a sense of a bully pulpit. And I know some people would love to see us hop on here together, but if you don't even have a little bit of decency to be like, yo, bro, I kind of stepped over the line a little bit. I still feel like I stand on my points, but maybe, and we could talk about some stuff. That's one thing. But for one, I felt like you disrespected me. You should be reaching out to me because if I disrespected you, that's what I would do to any of you out there. What's up, cuz? I would have the conversation with anybody. And I'm not too big to apologize when I wrong people. I'm not so prideful that I can't be like, you know what? Yeah, that was kind of foul that I did. Especially the teal when you start talking about the whole abortion and kids things. Because I don't know if y'all can hear it or not. Which shout out to my cousin out there, Ladarius. We talked for a good bit, and I was so mad watching a lot of that, and with my signal not being up, not being able to really respond to anything. I was like, you know what, it's no good. I'm just gonna hop off of here. And to just listen to him just keep ranting and lambasting and disrespecting me, that's messed up. I thought we was better than that. But apparently we weren't. And apparently we weren't good enough for you to even reach out and be like, yo, my bad about any of it. That, you know, we've been doing this show for years and you're like, whatever, screw it, walk off. I don't care. Because that's what that says to me when you don't have it in you to reach out. And even as pissed off as I was and not knowing how to come at this situation, I still at least even sent the text like, yo, what was up with that? And I tried to put a text in the most like non-aggressive manner at all. Because I knew his reaction wasn't going to be, you know what, I screwed up. I try to open up the lines of conversation. And oh yeah, that's right. I skipped off the Till situation. My bad. And again, if y'all start seeing a problem with the internet, let me know. Till lost a child and had to bury another child she was raising. But do you think that, I mean, and the emotional issue that had on her, you don't even care? And you make it as if, oh, we're just some liberals who don't want kids and we hate kids. Yeah, yeah, Rondo, you missed a lot last week. You missed a lot last week. Yeah, maybe he is going through some things, but if you're friends, you talk about these things. I imagine he probably is going through things because for him to randomly bring Jalen into it, the hell Jalen have to do anything? Jalen wasn't here at all. Wasn't in the chat, none of that. Why are you throwing strays at him? What does that have to do with any of this? While I was looking at something earlier, it made me, Street says, this is unfortunate. I see the devil himself dividing the closest people in my life. I agree. I think that there was stuff going on. I think that Chris has probably had some issues towards me for a while. That he chose that were obviously issues that really bothered him that he chose to not want to talk about until it just blew up for him. I feel like with all friends and people you care about and people in your life, you're going to have issues here and there. Hell, there was stuff that Chris was doing that I did not like. But I didn't feel like it was a big enough issue that I needed to flip out on him about it. And if I felt the situation would have progressed, I would have decided to talk about it. Because that's what I do with my friends. I have conversations off to the side so we can resolve these things. I don't just let it all build up and blow up on them. I don't like I said, I'm not doing this because he went at me and I just want to yell at him and all that. This don't feel good. This is somebody I consider like a brother to me for 4 years. But at the same time, if you have any kind of like self-respect, do you just sit there while somebody just shits on you? I mean, there's the I figure, you know what? I'm gonna show y'all something. I'm gonna show y'all something because Chris started going into a rant about leftists and all that. And I got a feeling this is probably gonna autoplay. So apologies if this thing autoplays before I can show the video. Ah, crap, let me back up. YouTube. Yeah, I don't need that one. Yeah, I'll put it here. So yeah, apologies if this plays right off the bat. I don't want this. Oh, there we go. I can just try and mute, and hopefully this stays muted. But if you guys see that thumbnail, it's from a very old video, or one of the earliest videos on this channel. In that video, I outlined my goal for this channel when I created it. And I want to share that with y'all so y'all can kind of see where my mentality was at, what I wanted to do with this. And I felt like we've gotten away from that. I've gotten away from it, and I want to reel things back to where they were and start doing more commentary that's not always about whatever the hot topic is. Granted, I'm still going to cover some of that stuff, but I didn't get on to follow the Kendrick and Drake beef. For anybody who really knows me, I don't give a damn about that stuff. You're an entertainer. I care about entertainment as far as that goes. I don't really care about y'all personal beefs. I don't care about what y'all personal life. I don't care if you got 4 wives, 8 kids. You're a celebrity. I care about your art that you put out. That's it. Keeping up with the Kardashians, shit like that. I don't care about it. I don't care that this person got a divorce from that person. I don't care about celebrity drama. Period. I don't care. And I don't also fan anybody, because the way I see it, all of these celebrities, all of them, none of them exempt, not a Jay-Z, not a Kendrick, not none of these people. All of them have bent the knee to power and are all complicit in a lot of the crimes that are going on. And so I don't exclude none of them out. So here, let me show y'all this video. This video is from 4 years ago. It's a modest video. It only has about 20 views to it. But it goes into what I wanted this channel to be about and what I cared about. And the thing about it is, I've had conversations. I have conversations off camera before the show. I had conversations with Chris literally the night before. Part of the stuff he's partially in agreement with me on, And then for him to take this hard turn and this leftist stuff and all that, let me go into, let's see, haven't prayed in a while, but just know, Marcus, I'm praying for y'all too. I'm confident y'all become close friends again. Nobody's perfect, neither me. I hope we become friends again too. I don't like this, I'm telling you. But to address the situation and you being on here drunk and acting a fool, okay, whatever. People partake. They have a little alcohol. They smoke. They do whatever. I'm not here to police you and be your father. Tell you what you're not supposed to do. And I never did that with Chris, even though I control all. I run all this. It's not, and it's not. I run this only because I'm some kind of control freak. Chris had the link to the show for the longest. He could have hopped on here at any point in time if he wanted to do interviews, talk about stories, whatever he wanted to talk about. Period. If he just wanted to do a commentary on whatever issue they saw out there, or hey, the libs of TikTok are pissing me off, or I want to do a segment against Nico, he could have did that on his own. He's always had that ability. He could have set up any interviews he wanted to. He didn't choose to do any of that. Didn't care about doing that. Politics out there. Dion, I talked to. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we'll do that. And then completely lost. We don't keep up with what he said to do. Yeah, Gregory, this is about last week. Probably show. And I hope that I'm still coming in fine. It looks like the signal's getting bad. My audio is bad. Crap. Hold on a second. Let me try this. Let me take my camera off. You guys still hear me? If you turn off, it'll cut everything. Better. Okay, Yonina says now. All right, I'm gonna try to show this video. Share my screen. And this video, this was a video that I did, my host for the channel. So yeah, it happened later in the stream, Rondo. I mean, if you're really paying attention, it started at the point when it started going downhill later on, and I would say it started when Chris mom asked a question, and the question was about future generations. I look at that as the future generations as a whole. Now, maybe Chris took that, that's telling him how to parent his kids. I don't know about that, but that's where that went. let me show this video. Hopefully it plays. And this was my goals for the channel. All right.
And I'm here with one of my short videos. I'm your host, Young Morpheus Cage.
Let me actually speed it a little bit because I was talking very slow in this video, thinking, let's speed it up a little bit.
In the video, I guess I just wanted to talk about a couple of things about the political matrix, about the show in particular. My goal is to awaken, not be mistaken for woke. It's kind of a jab at the whole woke thing. But I think if you're already showing it off. So that we can actually pay attention to what's coming ahead for us. I say in these videos, I say with complete sincerity, this isn't for any kind of, gag or these are the things that you guys.
Slow it back down. Checking. I guess slow.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Let you know when the service is happening.
Let me know if you guys can hear me. You did what? That's why I stopped completely.
No, I just did it when you told me there was no audio.
Okay, can anybody hear me? Oh, wait a minute. Okay. All right. So let me see if I guess you guys might just listen to the audio version of that if you guys can still hear. Oh goodness. Sorry about the stream. I mean, we switched over to a different provider and it's just horrible. So let's see where we at. So I don't know how much of that you guys even heard of the video I played, but it's probably better. I could just play the audio and let me know if you guys hear the audio perfectly fine. I'm your host, young Morpheus. In this video, I guess I just wanted to talk about a couple of things about the political matrix, about this show in particular. My goal is to awaken minds, not to be mistaken for woke. I know it's kind of a jab at the whole woke thing, but I think if you're saying you're woke and that's not even proper grammar, you're already showing you're I prefer that we be awakened so that we can actually pay attention to what's going ahead for us. Everything I say in these videos, I say with complete and 100% sincerity. This isn't for any kind of, gag or satire. These are the things that I believe. Some of you guys might agree with me also. Some may disagree. And that's perfectly fine. But I want everyone to know that all the content that you always see coming from me and from this channel will always be with 100% sincerity. And I encourage anything that I say or information I put out, I encourage you to look up. In fact, not only do I encourage you, take it as homework to write down certain things which I'm saying just to challenge me. Because I want all of us to be accurate and certain on our information. A little story. Somebody asked me, they said, like the movie The Matrix, would you rather be like the character Cypher, who knew the truth and would prefer stay inside the fake world of the Matrix to sell out for a little bit of power, prestige, control? Or would you prefer the bleak, miserable existence of the real? And I told him, I said, in a heartbeat, I'll always take the truth, no matter how ugly it is, no matter how uncomfortable it is. Because what do we have if we don't have real reality? And at that point, how do we judge anything? We have no compass to judge on what's actually real. So, no matter how ugly the truth is, I prefer that we stay with the truth always, no matter how inconvenient. Oh yeah, I was gonna say that anything that you guys, anything that we talk about on this show, even the other co-hosts, please look up our information, challenge us, because that's one thing I've always been about to this audience, that we are always going to give you guys our 100% sincerity, and we're going to give you the facts. We're not going to try to shade them, be a little, I guess, to full disclaimer, I do see things from a leftist perspective. So those of you guys who are... No, I just want to stop it right there, because you guys can see, over 4 years ago, I've already said that I come from a leftist perspective. I've never hid that. For Chris to feel like, oh, you're acting like some kind of leftist. Always said I was a leftist. Were you not paying attention? I've always said that I am economically a leftist, but culturally I lean more to the right. One of his critiques about, oh, y'all care when they're cutting government workers? Yeah. When did I ever say I was about, let's just cut the government down? When did I ever make that point? I complained about the corruption. I never said tear down the whole system, because here's the one thing which I don't think people who want to tear down the system factor in. There's always going to be somebody in control, unless you want full and total chaos, in which in that world is dog eat dog. There's no more society. We're literally living like the Walking Dead. Posses just doing whatever they want to anybody. And I don't know about you, but that ain't the reality that I want to live in. Although my whole entire life, I've believed that's the reality that we're going to end up in. Now, in a society like this, if government is not in power, and though government is corrupt, they're corrupt, and I say that 1000%, at least you have fig leaves or modicums of control. Without that, you strip this away to corporate interests and big business, and you think we got problems now, when there is nobody to say, you know what, hey, you can't dump all that nuclear sludge into the water, into these people's drinking water. What, you guys don't want that regulated? You want to take your chances on these major corporations? Do you want to take your chances that, hey, they can give us GMO whatever food and we don't even get to know about it? Because that's the society we're heading towards. Exactly. Mad Max society. Is that what y'all really want? Tear everything apart, let it all fall apart, and let it be Mad Max. This is what I don't think people factor in. And I do believe that, like, even though I hated the last Matrix movie, the one thing they'd understand, one thing that they started to understand is you have to have some form of a balance between the machines and their world. But if you feel like you can just do without it and get rid of everything, then you're gonna go back to the dog eat dog world, where anybody can take you off this planet for any reason. Anybody can do anything to you and your kids, and there's no regards, there's no laws, there's no backing you up. It's just might makes right. Whoever got the most power does whatever to whoever. Is that the world you really want to live in? Because plenty of people believe that, oh, well, I'm tough enough, I can do this. But when you start fighting these major, like for instance, back in the day, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a group called the Pinkertons. They were a private security that rich people would pay so that they can force people out of their homes, steal their land, all kind of stuff like that. If you want that reality, think about it. All these millionaires and billionaires, they can definitely pay to have people do whatever they want to you. And it'll be people who were trained, people who were trained right alongside me, or people who were trained even more intensely than me, which I know they have capabilities to do all kind of crazy stuff. And many of them will do whatever for $1. I'm talking about, I'm not talking about any kind of perverted way, but I'm talking about there's no conscience with some of these people. If you tell them, hey, I'm gonna give you 100,000 to do this, they're going to do it. And they don't care if it destroys your whole entire family. But let me hop back into this video. But when I start talking about, when I said that I'm a Marxist, I'm not even necessarily even a Marxist anymore. But the only thing a Marxist actually does is it critiques capitalism. It critiques it. It doesn't even give a prescription necessarily. I mean, it gives some minor tweaks to it. That's the whole point. It's a critique. And but here, let this play some more so you guys can hear my perspective. And I'll back it up. For those who did not hear, I'm not secretly some leftist. I've always said I was a fucking leftist. If you paid any damn attention, in which apparently that bothered Chris quite some bit for me to be to the left. I don't care that he espoused a lot of right-wing views. Chris was very applauding the deportations. So happy about these deportations. Not giving a damn what it does to these people or their families. I'm sorry, call me the bleeding heart liberal, that I care about people. Oh, that makes me such a weak, sorry person that I care about people. Well, I'll care about people. You can call me whatever you want. But I don't applaud these things. I do know certain things that need to be done within the government. Like, yes, there's waste, fraud, and abuse in the government. But to just go in there with a chainsaw to everything. And here's the thing about it. Most of these people who are cutting this stuff don't even know what any of this stuff does. And so we spent 4 years criticizing the Biden administration every step of the way. Criticizing AOC, the squad, all of these people. And the moment I start criticizing Trump, it's a problem. Do y'all not notice that? Chris had a problem with the January 6th stuff. Oh, were they going after January 6th? It was just a guided cruise. So why that one lady get shot? What was happening over there? I don't care if you say feds got them to do it. They still did it. You saying there was no violence on that day? And I don't even care about January 6th like that. I'm just showing you guys a track record of what Chris cared about. While he was complaining about leftist stuff, anytime I complained about this Doge stuff, he had an issue. Like it bothered him so much that I criticized Elon and this Doge thing when Elon himself is having to hire back workers because he didn't even know what the hell he fired them for and didn't realize the importance of their job. But at a certain point, Chris cared more about other stuff than even paying attention and digging into these details. Because reflexively, I hate Democrats. Let me defend the Republicans. And that's what it started to be. If you notice it, we're not even talking about LGBTQ stuff, but for some reason, Chris can find the obscure article in Maine about LGBTQ stuff. Why? That's not an issue you care about. It's not affecting you in your area, and it's not even a national thing. Why is that such a focus for you to even care about? Like I said, I don't even really like to cover these social issues because I think economics matters. I care about what happens, people having a roof over their head, money in their pocket, being able to go to the store and get what they need. I don't care about digging into their bedrooms and their personal life. That's not where I put my focus. So I don't put a whole lot of worrying about this person having an abortion or not. I don't worry about if a man want to be with another man, or you were born a man and now you want to be a her, and I don't have time for all that. I do a show once a week, and I care about foreign policy and economics, and always have. Because I feel like if you deal with foreign policy, it helps deals with the issues back home. And if you take care of economics, people can have at least a respectable life and be able to enjoy some things. And then you can let them deal with all this other stuff on the margins. But I never cared about the damn culture war crap. Everybody all of a sudden on the right cared about, what they're doing with the children and the babies and all that. They cared all of a sudden. But what about the years in the 80s when it was the worst for kids? Didn't hear Republicans caring back then when kids were getting taken off the street every 5 minutes. But now they care because it's a political football that they can use. And it pisses me off. But here, let me let this play, because I wanted to play this out so you guys can hear where I was at mentally when I started this channel and what my goals were. To full disclaimer, I do see things from a leftist perspective. So those of you guys who are unfamiliar with me and new to this channel, new to meeting me, I actually consider myself actual Marxist. So that's where I lean politically. So I view things through that lens. Those who don't understand Marxism and actually have real questions, then feel free to hit me up on Twitter, and I will go through any questions that you have. If you disagree with the beliefs, that's perfectly fine. Also, it's your right to disagree with me, and I'm not going to hold it against you. However you feel, I'm going to try to practice stoicism and control in the face of disagreement or frustration with me, if you may have it. I guess that's about it. Make sure you guys are always doing more research. Oh, sorry. I know I got rambling a little bit, and this one is not quite a solid stream of thought in the first place. But what I wanted to say is that I know some of you guys are going to want to know what the political matrix actually is, how it's controlled, what it's set up for, and we're going to get to that. But we can't just jump straight to that until we start to lay foundations and start to understand how all of these things are tied together. I know some of you out there are not religious, and I'm not asking you to be religious, but I am asking you to understand the history of religion, to understand part of what's going on with this system. Because if you don't think religion is involved, you're not paying very much attention. Another thing that we have to focus on to understand this system is we have to look back through family trees. I'm not going to go in this early and start tipping my hand, but we all know that there's handfuls of people who control mostly everything. Some people call them the Illuminati. Some people call them the Cabal. Some people call them all kind of other names. We'll start there with some of those loose forms of names because we don't have exactly who, whether it's the Bilderbergs or whether it's a different other secret organization, the Freemasons, whatever it may be. But what I encourage you all to do is we always know that the 1% is in the middle of this. They're the ones who are controlling this stuff. As you start figuring out who the 1% actually is, who owns this company, who owns that company, who's this CEO, who's that CEO, who's this chairman, as you start to put faces to names and you start to understand the ideology of those people, then actions start to make sense. If you have, say, for instance, here, I'll just toss one out there. Somebody like Sheldon Adelson. If you don't know who Sheldon Adelson is a very, very wealthy man who owns some casinos out in Las Vegas. When he donates always with his casinos in mind. That's the kind of research that, as we start digging through more and more of the Fortune 500 companies, as we start digging through the royal families and the ties between this world leader and this businessman, this CEO, and this nation, and we start looking at certain things, it start making more sense. I guess I will leave it there. I didn't want this video to go as long as it did, but you know, we will get more into that later on. Those of you who are that's, and let me try to see. I'm gonna give it a chance to see if it'll let me hop back in or not. But if it doesn't, just give me probably about 30 seconds. If it doesn't let me hop back in, I'll hop back on my phone. So give me a sec. And boom. Okay, it did let me hop back in. Let me stop sharing that screen. Okay, why is it not stopping screen share? Okay, that's weird. Okay, where'd I go? All right, there we go. So to respond to some, I see some people in the chat. Yeah, I've kind of pegged that that Chris was a little more on the conservative side. My frustration is that, dude, if you're more conservative, just be more conservative. And also, you can have your viewpoint, and I can have mine. Why does my viewpoint have to offend you? Because if you notice, I was never pissed off or mad at Chris because he believed differently. But if you notice, Chris always got upset, angry that I had different political ideology or different views. And that's a problem. I don't get why me believing something different than you pisses you off. And you feel this need to continuously talk about it over and over and over and over till you can switch me to your belief. You're not going to convince me. Just like you felt like, well, nobody who don't have kids or give you advice, which nobody was doing in the first place. If you haven't been the places I've been or lived where I've lived or understand all the things I understand, maybe I'm not going to listen to you nearly as much either. Did you work corrections before to know anything about the job? No, you didn't. You're going off of hearsay and what this person did or what you think this person wasn't doing. How much do you know about how these government agencies actually work to know that they actually do need to be cut down? Do you know that? Do you know where the waste is? You don't. You're taking somebody else's viewpoint on it. We all fall short of being right in a debate, realizing that everyone has an opinion is the path to being a civil mind in society. Matthew 7, 3 and 5. Good job. That's a good one. And I'm gonna leave it at that because I didn't bring this on to necessarily attack Chris. I just felt a need to defend myself after I felt like I was attacked in an unfair manner, and so was Teal. I felt it was just disrespectful the way that it was done. I don't have a problem with disagreeing with me. But you don't have to come on here and disrespect me. I mean, here's something that many of y'all don't know. I literally pay you guys to talk to you. I pay for the StreamYard. Now, I mean, time's getting a little bit tighter, so I might start putting my Cash App out there. So if anybody want to hook a brother up to help to make the show free for me, so I'm not paying what, like $50 a month, because yeah, that's roughly what I'm paying about now to keep the streaming up and to stream to multiple platforms. And for those who've done content creating, they know it ain't necessarily a cheap thing when you start buying cameras and lights and doing all this other stuff. But I've done this because I want to
This is something I feel obligated to try to reach out and give you guys this information because I feel it's pertinent. I'm not doing this because, Trump derangement syndrome. Maybe that's who else, other people you're dealing with. But I've always cared about the issues. Always. And I've always took the time to do my research and try to come to you guys with a well thought out, argument on these things to try to catch these things. And it's not even because, I'm so smart, I need to teach somebody something. It's because I know a lot of y'all got lives, got kids, got other stuff. And so I spend my time trying to research this stuff that you may not have time for. How many people necessarily lived in other countries can give a perspective on what their governments are like? And that also bodes into why I believe the way I believe in some of these things. When I've seen people who live under a different healthcare system and see it in action, not just some, Medicare for all liberals who are talking about it, or progressives, or whatever you want to say. I got to see it in action, how it worked. I got to see many of these different so-called philosophies and theory, which Chris ranted about theory. When do I bring up theory? I don't talk about no damn theory. That's the reason why I say I believe a lot of this. I don't know how much of this was to me. Come on, don't do me wrong, chat. Let me try clicking off my camera. See if that might help. Let's see. See if clicking off my camera might help. Okay, I think that's helping a little bit. And I make fun of Trump all the time. Although I give him credit where it's due, but most of his policies are colonial, corporatist, elitist. Exactly. This ain't on some, just going after Trump because Trump derangement. No, it's not. It's dealing with what it's analyzing the situation. It's analyzing the situation, and that's all. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about this at the beginning or at the end. I've taken more time than I planned to take. I took about an hour. That's about how long he went. And I don't know if he decides he wants to reach out and talk to me and discuss this obviously not face to face, but if he wants to discuss this like adults, then I'm fine with that. But I'm not here for the disrespect. We can do a channel together and have differing points of views. So, and it's funny, like jokingly, Liz would say stuff like, maybe y'all can delete the channel and be Republicans. And Chris would say that all the time, jokingly, like it's jokingly. But the truth is, we know you really do rock with these people more than you want to admit it. I just hate that you got to fucking lie about it. You really rock with these people way more than you let on. And that's why you reflexively are so defensive. But all right, then that's done. I don't know if y'all have points of views that y'all want to talk about. That's fine. I'm kind of wondering if these videos I have will actually even play. Really hoping that they'll play some stuff that I wanted to show. Well, I just thought about it. I could always do it audio wise because you guys can hear it. Let's see. Oh boy, Linnea. Oh man. It's always funny to me, and I don't even be on that stuff, but I notice when I look at most Trump supporters, especially black ones, and you can almost count on it. They're first or second generation Black Americans. They didn't came from somewhere else, or their parents came from somewhere else. It never fails. They always lean more towards the damn right. And I get it culturally, I can see that, but do y'all not understand the economics that have kept this country afloat? Do you not understand it? Yeah, I mean, Lord Jamar, that's a whole nother thing. I mean, yeah, I mean, well, my biggest thing with Lord Jamar on that flat Earth thing was that, dude, argue your points. You ain't got to get all mad and yell and try to like bully people. And this is one thing which I don't know. Maybe that's a New York thing. Like New Yorkers feel like they need to try to yell people down and all that. That was another thing I forgot. You know, oh, we was riding through our areas and we rode across crocodiles and all that. You think you're the only person who grew up in the hood? Kind of really? Oh my God, they be on some clown shit, I swear. You know how many New York cats I didn't see get mopped up when they moved to the Midwest because they think, because I'm from New York. That don't mean shit. Everywhere got a hood. Wow, what's my take on trade wars? Yo, good, because that's one of the topics that I wanted to get into. I think this trade war thing, Trump is going to learn either. Well, are he not? I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to bluff us. I think he's trying to bluff these other countries because Trump's only way he moves is bullying. He tries to bully, and that's why I say I don't know. Maybe this is a New York mentality. You just try to punk everybody, and that's how you try to get your way. You don't really try to negotiate. You just try to bully people and think that that's going to always fucking work. And everybody's going, oh, Trump, I'm so scared. Come on. I think it's clown show stuff because we have shipped so much manufacturing out of this country. And there's so much stuff that we get from outside of this country that we cannot physically make or grow here. It's just idiotic. The trade war stuff with Trump. And here's the thing about it. These other countries that you're dealing with, they can tighten up their belt and deal a whole lot more than most Americans. Most Americans are going to be fucking whining and crying a whole lot sooner than most of these people in Mexico and Canada and China for that matter. Americans as a society, as a whole, I'm not talking about you or anybody in this chat in particular, but Americans as a whole, as a group, are soft. They are softer than baby shit. And when pressure and stuff really gets going on, Americans are the most pampered people in the whole entire world. And the moment they start seeing these eggs and stuff go a little bit higher, and it's honestly, you know what? I can take it back a little. They are soft, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, Americans are put on so much of a different pressure crunch because everything else is so damn expensive here. So they got you over a barrel either way you go. Yeah, people are soft, but yeah, at the same time, you're getting screwed. And like you can be in fucking like Costa Rica, for instance. And if you're homeless, you can just go pick fruit off the tree. That's perfectly legal. And you don't have to be homeless. You don't have to dumpster dive. But also it depends on which city you're in. Certain cities, there's programs for homeless people to help you out. Some, nah, they're not helping you. We're only helping 40 people today, and sorry, you're 41. That's America. You know, that's not the way and the reason why I have such a problem with that mentality is America is the richest nation that has ever existed. It don't have to move that way. But y'all people who think that it should move that way, is bonkers to me. Y'all think that it need to move that way. That's perfectly fine. It don't got to move that way. But because y'all won't put pressure on it, because y'all just accept it. Y'all don't demand anything from this damn government. Yeah, we can't grow fruit trees here without a permit. Exactly. But when you say and that's what I'm saying. At least with the government, hey, you can get somebody in there. You can change some of these things like that. Not all of it, but there's ways that you can navigate this thing. The moment that you put this off to private corporations, all they're gonna do is buy up all the land, and you ain't growing nothing nowhere. We already got billionaires buying the lakes and rivers in certain areas. You leave this to the plutocrats and the autocrats. You think things are bad now. You're gonna really see how bad things will get. And when I complain about seeing that, it's because it ain't even about no Republican Democrat shit at that point. When you understand what these tech billionaires really believe in, they don't believe in no Republican Democrat shit. They believe in feudalism. They believe in basically having a king, a CEO king, who's going to rule however the hell he wants. They believe in dictators. That's where we're going. Not on some just Trump derangement. Oh, no, it's not about conservative, liberal. It ain't about none of that. It's about, do you even want some levers of control at all in your life? Because what's been continuously going on is every year I've been alive, and even before that, we can go decades before that, what has been happening is the rights of Americans have been stripped away piece by piece by piece by piece. And that's what's going to continue to happen. And I know I kind of went off on a tangent. I stepped away from the trade war that Streets was asking me about. But what I believe that will happen is, because we get a lot of our fruits and vegetables from Mexico, and we get a lot of natural gas, and oil comes out of Canada. Canada is the #1 place we get oil from. Now, you start putting tariffs on that, watch those gas prices go up. After gas prices go up, food prices go up. Car prices will go up instantly. I watched an article the other day, or not article, I watched an interview. It said that an $80,000 car instantly will jump up to $100,000. That's initially. Once they start running out of the parts that get shipped from all these other places, because keep in mind, the person who did the USMCA, the trade act that we're under right now, is the current president, who is now bitching about the very plan that he put in. And this is what I say about, when you deal with a bully, you got to note that that's a bully. Trump made a plan. He don't like his own agreement. Now he feels like he's still being screwed over. So now he want to come back for more. And then when you budge, what happens to a bully? A bully's going to come back and want more and more and more and more, because a bully's never going to want enough. That's my problem. And this ain't even about doing for America. If you think this is about doing for America, you've been lost the script. This is not about doing for America. This is doing for American corporations and shareholders. This ain't about helping no regular Americans. And this has never been about helping no regular Americans. This is my problem with a lot of people not wanting to even go after this, not seeing the problem with this. This is where my problem comes in. While we all sitting up there worried about, I wonder who's gonna win the World Series coming up, and what's Beyonce's next album gonna be. stuff's going to be going downhill. And I worry about the quality of life for people. So if Trump actually is crazy enough, and I think he's crazy enough, but at the same time, he is a little bit nervous that it's still early in his presidency. And with it being early enough in his presidency, he will destroy his credibility and it will get nasty and ugly out there for him real quick. I don't know who's probably told him, but somebody's told him, like, yo, you do realize, like, most of your voters are like some of the poorest people on earth. You do know that, right? You're going to hurt your voters. And what you're going to end up doing is you're going to you're going to end up booting out all of these Republicans who are supporting you. Now, I doubt that they told him that because I think that he's so egomaniacal that he don't care about that. I think he's so narcissistic that he believes everybody loves me no matter what. And so I don't think that it's necessarily clicking to him, but maybe he understands enough that, ooh, I seen that interview and I heard what they saying. Ooh, I heard what that farmer's saying. So he's hearing that. So he's kind of he's tiptoeing back from it, but he's thinking that he can keep making these bluffs and threats. And the thing about it is, yo, you did this the first time around. You did this the first time around, right? Some of these people are gonna be like, yo, do it then. Do it. Keep bluffing me. Do it. They're gonna call his bluff. Because their countries are they're not going to go against them because they're going to realize this trade war was done by America. Trump did that shit, not their leaders. Trump is uniting whole countries against us. Hell, do you want to travel outside of this country? Have you traveled outside of this country while you have a president who is poking the bear and pissing off everybody around the world? I have. One of our guys on our detachment while we out partying got stabbed because of that. Because the people pissed off at one of our presidents. So you know what? Hey, you're a representation of America. So I think that what he's doing with and the tariffs against China, manufacturing is not that's right. He paused the tariffs for a month for the big three and other automakers. What do you think 30 more days is going to do? You really think that they're going to be able to buy the land or buy an already established factory that's sitting there, be able to buy all the equipment, hire all the personnel, and build all their manufacturing here in America in 30 days? No, you can't do that. It's impossible. And this is how you know we're dealing with a fucking idiot. It ain't about no, oh, you just hate Trump. No, he's a fucking idiot. And has no clue what he's doing. And I already know, oh, well, some people will be like, oh, well, here he goes. He turned it into a liberal. The only reason why Trump is even kept afloat right now, it ain't that he was a great businessman ever. Trump was never a good businessman. Trump started off with his daddy's money. And even when I used to watch The Apprentice and all that stuff, I used to buy books on Trump. Because growing up in the hood, you look at Trump and what hip hop heads put it as like Trump is like, oh, that's a billionaire. Because at that time, a lot of black people in the hood didn't even know any billionaires. So in their mind, that's the idea of success, to be like Trump. He's in so many rappers. I mean, the first one comes to mind is that Mac Miller song. Where it's literally talking about, the name of the song is like "On My Trump Shit" or something like that. But the man started off with his daddy's money. And he lied about his net worth to get himself into Forbes, to get loans, to perpetuate it. All this man has been about is fraud his whole fucking life. Every one of his corporations that he had. He didn't want to pay none of his workers then. This man takes snap judgments and is not smart. A lot of his corporation, a lot of his hotels, he was sitting up there propping up the amounts of them fraudulently, continuously committing fraud. And the thing about it is, it's not that he's unique, it's that he's the most sloppy. He's the most sloppy with it. So that's the reason why it's easy for people to decide that, oh, we're going to try to put charges on Trump because he's so sloppy and so naked with it. It's idiotic the way he moves. And for anybody to try to defend that, think that, oh, well, it's only people coming after him because of Trump derangement. No, it's called having common sense and knowing what the fuck is going on. And this time around, the reason why I do actually pay attention, and I am more up in arms about it and watchful of it, is because he got sycophants who were there who were all about implementing some of the most, and y'all, people talk about some damn theory. The leftist is worried about theory. All of these conservatives, everything they're trying to do is all theory. None of it has ever been done. None of it has ever been done. They are literally doing all theory right now as they try to cut the government, as they try to cut this, that. Because here's the thing: when has there ever been all of these established departments of the government that do certain things for you to even take them away? How do you know what's going to happen? You have no clue what's going to happen. And when people aren't curious about any of these institutions and what they actually do, then how do you know what the hell is going to happen? And how the hell are you just feeling like you're so comfortable in what's going to happen? Do you want to see a reality where crime rates go sky high? Do you want to see a reality where you got every woman you know getting on OnlyFans and making extra buck? Is that what y'all want? Do y'all want more people out there homeless? You like walking around homeless people? You like pissy sidewalks? You like watching this country be dismantled, all just so some rich people can have some extra dollars in their pocket that they not even gonna fucking spend. This is what y'all want? What the goal is? The goal is to completely corporatize and privatize every damn thing. Now, one thing that I loved when I was in the UK, when I went into a store, grocery store, for instance, not a single cashier was standing up. Do you know why? Reason why cashiers don't stand up in the UK. Because they realize the damage it does to your knees, your back, your ankles, all of that stuff. And when all that stuff is bad, what's going to happen? You're going to need more medical attention, which costs more on the system. And American corporations don't think like that or care because they don't pay your health insurance. I mean, there's no corporations. There's no health insurance that's taken care of by the government. So they don't give a damn. Hell, if you don't have insurance, oh well, that's on you. You can't afford the insurance? Oh, well, I'm so sorry for you. And I'm like, is that what y'all like? I watched somebody break their arm. A doc came to the house. Not a rich person. A doc came to the house. Gave them a temporary cast, gave them the medicine, told them to come to the doctor. They ended up paying like $27 out of pocket to reset a broken arm and get a permanent cast and all that. Y'all really want to pay what? I don't know how much everybody pays or not. Y'all really want to pay the amounts that we pay and then pay more and more money when you get to the hospital? That's better? I mean, I get what you're saying, Chris H, but I'm just saying in general, some of these other, like I know in the UK, they work a lot on preventative care. They try to get you in there to make sure you have your checkups, blood work, all that stuff on a regular. So if you do come down with some kind of cancer or whatever, they can get ahead of it. And it's not at the end of your life where you're getting, where you're sitting up there racking up hundreds of thousands of dollars. What I see going on, and if Trump does do these, if he does eventually go through it, because he might go through it just out of the fact of I made the bluff. Now I kind of got to go through with it just so my word don't look like ass. Now I got to go through with this. These countries are going to do reciprocal taxes. I mean, reciprocal tariff, which a tariff is basically you adding a tax on us. Because whatever you think, nobody's snapping their fingers and a business is just going to come from out the ground. They're just not going to be able to do that. And so you're going to raise the prices on everything. Everything's going to go up. That's what you're going to have happen. And China, I mean, why you think you're going to tax them? Oh, that hurts them. And they ain't not worried about you. They're like, dude, you ain't busting a grape in a fruit fight. Man, get out of here. China is not scared of the United States. And this thinking that we can punk China. Our presidents last every 4 years. You might get 8 years if you get back to back. Chinese presidents stay in office and they work on 10-year, 15-year, 20-year plans. Not no 4-year bullshit. Because of the way their governments are set up, and it's not fully a communist government like it said. At best, it's democratic socialists and probably authoritarian democratic socialists, because they still got a capitalist class and all that stuff like that. They got billionaires over there. They got a social safety net. So it ain't no straight communism over there. There's no such thing as straight communism anywhere, and there's never really been, if you really understand the true definition of it. Yeah, 4 years to tear down the last 4 years and on and on. Well, that's the one thing that I worry about with this. When you get a bunch of idiots in there just tearing apart shit that they don't understand. 4 years, you tear it all down. How long does it take to fix something when you realize, oh shit, we actually need this? But you don't know because you've just been taught government is bad. Oh, it's waste, fraud, and abuse. Just get rid of it. And then what? Because all of this really, the only reason why they even care about trying to downsize the government is they want to get some fucking tax cuts. Which most of us are not going to benefit from. Which are just going to add more and more onto the damn debt. That's what this is all about. These tariffs, anyway, It's not even about what Trump says it's about. In one breath, it's, oh, we're treated very, very unfairly. Clown. You're not treated unfairly. What it is some of these countries, which are smaller countries, have to be protectionist to a degree. What are they going to do? Just allow the U.S. to all their sellers just dominate their markets and let all their domestic businesses go out of business? What sense does that make? That's when you have somebody who doesn't understand anything about economics, don't understand anything about what it's like to be on the other side of this. And a lot of these people who champion this shit, you champion it because you don't know what it's like to be a citizen in none of these other countries, to be on the other side of what America is doing to you. I learned that when I was in Italy. Like, damn. I mean, we were getting gas coupons, but it was like, man, why are gas prices so high over here? Because the exclusivity rights, which America has bargained for, they got the exclusive rights to all the major oil producing areas. So what does that do? That leaves all of these other people to have to get their oil from a handful of people. And what happens is, because there's more of a natural scarcity because you got so many other people getting oil from, it jacks the price up. So when I lived in Italy, things would be much nicer over there if their gas prices were lower, but they're not going to be because of the rights which America has going. Yeah, state-run capitalism, that works too. But this is what I'm like. We can't sit there and just be so surface level on analysis on any of this stuff. He said, no, Marcus. Peter Thiel got this buddy named George Church. He wants to grow a house from a seed they got this. Well, you mentioned Peter Thiel. A lot of people are not even focused on Curtis Yarvin. Curtis Yarvin is like the thought leader for most of these tech right idiots. He grew up a spoiled kid who his parents were working partially in high-ranking government jobs. Because see, when people go after these government jobs, everybody glumps the bureaucrats at the top in with the worker bees who are at the bottom, who just average people like plenty of people that y'all know who just going to do a job that's normally needed. They're not involved in all the politics at the tops of these organizations. But yet, because some people have such a hatred towards all of this stuff, they all get it too. They all get glumped in and, oh, well, screw them all. Throw the baby out with the bathwater kind of shit. That's the conservative mindset. Oh, well, fuck it. We can't, conservatives have this mindset that they could just turn back times to like the 1800s, as if all this other shit didn't get set up and it's all running. And there's not going to be consequences when you start tearing these things apart. Yeah, and then you factor, that's a whole nother game. You start going into the U.S. Wiped out Mexican and Jamaican farming. There's so many countries. They did that to Haiti also. There's a bunch of countries that the U.S. has done that to. Let's see. Elon is just a really smart businessman. So what if he has unlimited investment in QTEL? It doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. This dude is just trying to get rid of any company that could pose him any threat in the future. You know, by the way, his rocket just blew up recently, and this is the guy that we want to trust. Trust you, this. They're going to give over a contract to him and probably shut down NASA too, which I don't really give a shit about NASA. I mean, I think that they are doing stuff as far as getting our satellites in the air and things like that. But as far as the space program, which they ain't even really been working on, They've really been just mainly working on our satellites and stuff like that, and they work with global positioning as far as shooting off rockets and stuff. That's about it. But there still is a need there. But when you focus on the glaring stuff, oh, the rockets and going to space and the moon and all that, without focusing on what they do on a day to day. And that's what a lot of people do when they want to, oh, let's get rid of these government workers. And you know how many, I mean, especially if you care about black people, you know how many black families would be nothing without the government jobs that they had, which were actual legitimate jobs. And here's the thing, it's going to be a whole lot of people out there who are going to find out, oh, crap, I did not realize that this was a government job, or this is actually contracted through this and this and this, and how this stuff actually works until it's cut. Like that old saying, you don't miss your water till the well runs dry. Do we really want to wait till the well runs dry? Is that our goal? Let's just tear it all apart, and then later on we'll figure out if it was important or not. Let's see. Food is medicine or poison, depends on what you eat. Yeah, that's something that we were trying to go into last week, which we didn't obviously get to go into fully. My cousin had sent me a very good documentary, which when I can get I don't know, when I can get him to hop on here, we might revisit that. I don't want to go into that unless I have Teal on here, because I know she had a lot of stuff that she wanted to say that she didn't get to say last week on that topic. Yeah, Trump did say 1875, the Gilded Age. What somebody like Trump doesn't think about is when they were sitting up there, the robber barons, and doing all that stuff that they were doing, what ended up happening not very long after that, like 30, 40 years later, before Social Security and all these things like that. I mean, I'm like, do people really want a reality where, okay, mom, I can't really afford to take care of you anymore, so let's just leave you on the side of the road till you just die. That used to happen back then. I'm like, is this what? So America becomes the richest nation on earth to turn back into a lesser version of itself, and y'all motherfuckers out here applauding this shit? So Russia and China fucked up Jamaica. No, Great Britain fucked up Jamaica way before any of that. Great Britain did its damage on Jamaica long before that. I mean, hell, if you go back to Jamaica of the Jamaica in the 30s and 40s, it was Great Britain who was pillaging that place and exploiting it long before China and Russia got involved. Did Elon really say? Actually, who was it? Ben Shapiro said it, and he liked it and retweeted it. No, Trump ain't helping nobody to an extent. He ain't helping, not a damn thing. I just wait to see. I just wait to see, like, when things really start, like, they're gonna eventually cut that one thing that's gonna be a little too far, and it's gonna start to click to them. Let me see. Man, I really wish y'all. I guess for this one, y'all don't really need to see it. Let me make sure my stuff's on mute. Mute up, and then I'm gonna go to, because it seems like y'all can hear it when it plays on here anyway. So I'm gonna play the Ritter one. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of just all over the place, kind of talking off the top of my head. I thought that I would be able to have my I thought I would be able to have, my tech difficulties out of the area, out of the way, and be able to just boom, 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 lay these topics out, go into them. But well, I think we're still managing. Let's see. So, how long ago was that video? I just gotta find it real quick. Um, because when I heard Ritter say this, I'm like, this dude's opinion, uh, it needs to highly be questioned. And I rock with some of what he says when he's talking about Russia, Ukraine. I mean, he kind of understands the on the ground war stuff. But when I first heard him start to make some of the critiques he was saying about about the Navy's capability and stuff like that, I'm like, this dude don't really he know Army stuff. He knows on the ground weaponry. He doesn't know anything about sea warfare. He doesn't know anything about the weapons that they have and what they can do. They really can do as far as launching on ground targets and stuff. But that's a whole nother issue. But let's see. Thanks, Streets. And I don't know. Part of me, I love to be able to go back and forth with somebody. I mean, I love to hear other perspectives, and we'll have Till back next week. So, I mean, part of me is still a little saddened. I mean, even right now, even though we went on, this is, I'm telling y'all, this is still going to be on my mind for a minute. I don't know how it'll shake out. It might just end up being, I know I didn't want to hop back on the stream when we ain't hashed nothing out. That wasn't going to happen. Well, what it is Gregory said, I was saying Glory likes to point it out to people caking for BRICS, or it's just finding their poison in the land in recent years. What it is, it's nobody that necessarily loves any of these world leaders. But what it is I think that it's a little bit different when, even if somebody's giving you a screwed up deal, it's different when somebody's giving you a screwed up deal than when somebody is just like, putting a gun in your mouth and making you do stuff. And that's the difference between Russia and China versus America. At least they're giving you, they're like, yo, you can do business with us if you want to. We're going to charge you. We're going to charge you, definitely. But it's up to you. I don't know. I got a little bit more respect for that, because you're allowing a nation to have autonomy. They can decide if they want to do that deal or not. So I feel like, and that was a perspective I heard. It's a group of people, not only Glory, that they would be real big on this, like, we need to push back on Russia. And what it is I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. I think it's a little bit weird that some people focus so much on going after these countries, when all it is they're focusing on their economic interests, and they're doing what they can to better their countries. Period. Plus, I know plenty of Africans who are quite happy with what the Russians are doing in helping them. So, just because things are not working out in one direction doesn't mean that it's the same story for everybody, or even everything. Because some of these, when they talk about China and Russia, sometimes these are private companies, not necessarily the government. And so it makes a difference. I know a lot of the stuff that's going on with Russia and stuff like that, or even China, these are businesses who have autonomy to do, to be able to make moves on their own. This is not like Xi Jinping is literally giving these corporations a directive. Yes, I see. Chris A says, I see Africans waving Russian flags and wearing Wagner merch. Yeah, because they've really helped these people out. They've helped kick out the person who's putting the gun in their mouth, and that's the West. Now, and the Russians are forgiving lots of debt that they're like, yo, that couple $100 million you owe me, I lent you. Hey, bro, don't even worry about that. Now, if anybody tells you something like that, I would kind of be worried. Like, what are you gonna want later? Because you're not just letting me get this free. That's not how the world works. But as of right now, they're not doing the hard power. They're doing soft power, and um, for these countries to actually get on their feet and be able to, fight back a little, somebody got to fucking help them to some degree. If you believe that, oh, this is the type of world where they can just sit back and if, oh, well, they don't get any help from Russia or China, that America and France and all those other countries are going to just stop exploiting them, then you're delusional. There's no way that they're getting themselves out of the proxy wars and all that stuff is not going to stop unless you get the West all the way up out of there. And they're not just doing it on their own because the thing with these different countries is they're not fighting like Burkina Faso is just fighting against France. They're fighting against France. They're fighting against Belgium. They're fighting against Denmark. Get what I'm saying? They're not fighting one-on-one. They're fighting multiple countries that are working to keep them down. Because most of these European countries know if Africa ever gets on its feet, it is night for Western powers. And I'm not talking about from a war standpoint. They'll have control of all their minerals and things like that and tell them, no, you can't keep just taking out of my country. You need to pay for it. And once they start paying what it's actually worth, that's when you start seeing, currencies and stuff start, making a drastic change. And that's also why I would believe that some of these people are actually why Russia and China are trying to help some of these African nations because they understand that. And they understand that's a good way to have more and more nations that can be against America and the West so that they can stop walking around bullying the whole entire world. See, China often, Thomas says, China often backs out of a big project if the local natives of a country speak out, unlike U.S. corporations. And China is building up infrastructure for many countries, unlike the U.S. Yes, that's something also. That's something you need to tell back to those people who are like so like anti-Russia, anti-China. And I'm not even saying that they're necessarily so great, but if you compare them to the U.S., you don't have any room to make these critiques and criticisms. They're not being forced, and these countries are happily to do. I mean, I talked to when I had Dr. Guguletu on here. Man, he talked about he's somebody who lives in Africa, who does business in Africa, who was telling y'all, yo, I don't know what they talking about, but Russia's helping us. So I'll leave it at that. I know some people are big time Russophobias, so, or they look at, oh, I can find this one incident that they did over here. Yes, Chinese will also discipline their corporations if they commit crimes in Africa. Does anybody in the West do that? No, they don't. That's the reason why some people's analysis, I don't be feeling it. Oh yeah, that's right, the Ritter one. And let me know if you guys can hear this okay. Oh, that's exactly what I'm talking about, Thomas. Thomas says it right there. Africa has tens of trillions in natural resources, which is why the West fears Africa. Russia and African Russia-China trade network, exactly, because they know that pushes them off the hegemon. And they look at it like this. Honestly, China and Russia would be perfectly fine with doing business with America, but America don't want to share the spotlight. And so they're going to end up getting the Victor Sweet treatment. I've said it before. Oh, so you want to treat everybody like shit up under you. Okay. They're going to click up, get strong enough. And then when they're strong enough, they're not just going to push you to the side. They're going to put you in the dirt. And America is flirting with that. And as much as they keep, let Trump and the rest of his lackeys keep pushing away, all these other supposed allies. They're going to open the door, He gonna open the door for people to come in and backdoor you, and then everybody in America's safety's at risk. But it's all right. Keep defending Trump. It ain't even. I mean, to me, it's about just we have idiots running things, and we need to be able to call out the idiots, whether it's an idiot on the right or the idiot on the left. And we already showed our bona fides to calling out idiots on the left. Well, we got to do it for idiots on the right too. And quit getting emotional because we criticize Elon. So let me play that video. Let me know if y'all can hear it all right. This was Scott Ritter, and this was called BRICS de-dollarization is done. Trump killed it. This is Scott Ritter's words. That's the reason why I put that thumbnail of him drinking the Kool-Aid. So here, let me play.
People care about in the end is what's in their pocket, in their bank, that they can put a roof over their head, feed. Yes. That's all they care about. And if Donald Trump can give that to, see, people in the past would scare the American people. You're going to lose all this, lose democracy, unless we build up the biggest military in the world. Trump's not playing that game without even entering into discussions with our adversaries. He said, cut it by 40% because he's not.
And that's already a lie because Trump's, have y'all not seen the new Republican budget? It's adding more money. So that's why I'm partially talking about dude buying into the Kool-Aid, drinking the Kool-Aid. So who cares what Trump said? Look at what the budget said being put out. Look at what's actually being done. Quit listening to words. Pay attention to actions.
Not playing that game anymore. He's playing the economic cooperation game, and that'll bring far more security than the military dominance game ever brought.
Scott, I agree mostly with you. I strongly disagree with this idea that the BRICS nations, just because Trump comes in, are all of a sudden going to be like, okay, we're going to stop de-dollarization, we're going to pull back. I don't believe that at all. I think they would listen to Trump. I think they would give and tell him any and everything that he wants to hear. But I think the horse is out the barn. I don't know.
De-dollarization's dead. They're not talking about it anymore. Brazil's running the summit this year, and they said it's not on the table. They took it off the table. Modi said it's never going to be on the table. And Trump and Putin is saying, we don't want it. And Xi Jinping's going, we don't want it either. Because they can't respond to it. They can't come up with an alternative. There is no alternative to the dollar.
I don't know how countries look at U.S. behavior with the dollar and the way that the U.S. has used it as a weapon and has done so for multiple administrations, not just one. Joe Biden might have been the worst aspect of it, but it was being used.
Didn't I say you can't? You're guilty of what I said you can't do.
What am I guilty of?
You just brought the past in, and you said you're judging Donald Trump based upon the past. Would Joe Biden have ever stood up and said, we're going to make the dollar usable to you?
I know, Scott, but there's a continuity in regards to governments. It's not like one administration comes in and all of a sudden the continuity goes away.
The revolution made the continuity go away. It's over. Finished.
Right. And you believe that Russia, China, all of these other countries are looking at this one administration and saying, all right, the revolution is here. Everything is great. We can move forward. America has changed its position for the foreseeable future. I am not certain of that. And if I am one of those leaders, I am thinking to myself, this could change tomorrow.
They're guarded. But again, I'm just telling you, I've done a lot of research into de-dollarization. No major BRICS country is excited about it because you can't do it. It actually is the thing that was going to destroy BRICS because they don't know how to do the interaction. They can't make it work. And now you have Trump coming in saying, if you do this at your moment of greatest weakness, because BRICS is not strong right now.
Right.
They are growing. At your moments of greatest weakness, I'm going to destroy you with tariffs that you can't afford. And BRICS is going, we can't do that. And but Putin has said it. Putin is a leader of BRICS who said, we have no interest in de-dollarization, none whatsoever. We didn't walk away from the dollar. You pushed us away from the dollar. So Donald Trump's solution is, welcome back to the dollar, baby.
Yeah.
And and the point I'm trying to make is, okay, if I'm Putin now, and I had this conversation with Russian officials at their embassy the other night. I was there for it's not official. I'm not an American.
Yeah, Garland told me. Yeah,
just this strange little conversation. But they were like you. Man, jury's still out, man.
Exactly.
America does this stuff, and I said, guys, the revolution is here. They're like, well, I say, really?
Do you see how delusional this dude is? The Russian officials are telling him, "No, I don't know what you're talking about, pimp. I don't really agree with you like that." Exactly. They know. All we got to do is wait a couple of years. And I don't care what Trump is promising them. I don't care. All you got to do is wait a couple of years. Who knows who's in office after that? Why would they hitch everything to somebody who's only going to be in office for 4 years when everything could be completely changed in 4 more years? And you're also talking about Trump is going to cripple them. All these sanctions were put on Russia, and what did they do? They start trading with China, North Korea, all these other countries. When you talk to actual economists, and they'll let you know the GDP for all of the BRICS nations is like double what ours is. I mean, and I'm not talking about just ours. The G7, the BRICS nation is like double what the G7 is. They don't need our markets. This is Scott Ritter still living in the 80s. It's like, bro, you need to catch up. That's not what's going on anymore. These countries don't have to sit there and be on their knees and scared of America anymore. And you thinking the revolution has come. Oh gosh. So, but he has more. I'm gonna let it carry on.
What constitutes, when you think about the deep state and the thing that holds it together, what constitutes that? Remember Chuck Schumer? The intelligence community's got 6 ways from Sunday to screw Donald Trump. Right. The intelligence community doesn't exist anymore the way it used to. They're done. They're finished. Everybody's been fired. The structures have been eliminated. There is new leadership in place that doesn't have anything to do with the past leadership. The Department of Justice is finished. You know those FBI agents that came into my house? Every single attorney in the Northern District of New York that authorized that is fired, finished, gone. Their careers are over. And the FBI agents that came into my house may lose their jobs as well. The deep state is over, finished, done. You couldn't rebuild it if you wanted to because it's in total disarray. And this is what I tried to tell the Russians. I don't know what the future is going to be, but I do know what it's not going to be. Vladimir Putin once said that American presidents can campaign and make promises and promises.
This dude think the deep state is over. What a clown. Like, really, if you think the deep state is over, you don't know what the deep state is. I mean, man, I got to make sure I send this video over to myself so I can open it up. They just did more surveillance stuff, which my cousin sent me. There's more surveillance stuff that they're rolling out every 5 minutes. This is all used part of the deep state. What are you talking about? Like really, Scott, what the hell are you talking about? Are they still not shipping money? USAID might have shut down, but what happened to the whole CIA part of it? What did they do? They just sent it over to another department. So basically all they did is they said, yo, let's keep all the CIA coup part. Let's keep all that and the color revolutions. Let's keep all that part. Let's just get rid of, cancer drugs and, food for these poor people in Africa. That's all they did. They got rid of any of the good thing that it did and kept all the bad shit. They just moved it to another agency. Let's do this. And what cuts has the Pentagon done? What? This dude is such a moron.
But then when they
or maybe he's not a moron. Maybe this dude is just completely bought out. Or he's just so delusional because, well, Trump got rid of the people who were messing with me, so everything is great now.
become president, they sit down in the Oval Office, and men in black suits and dark ties show up with briefcases and tell them what reality is, and they don't do anything. The men in black suits no longer exist. They no longer exist. The deep state no longer exists. It's being defunded. It's being disrupted. It's being destroyed. And it's not theory. I'm talking about reality. Look at what's happening in Washington, D.C. It is absolute panic, absolute chaos. If the rumors are true, and they're coming from several responsible sources, generals, FBI agents, CIA agents have been caught shredding documents.
I heard that. Yeah.
They're going to jail forever. Why are they shredding documents? Because the deep state is a criminal cabal that has been conspiring against.
Keep that in mind what he said. Oh, they're shredding documents. They're going to jail forever. Let's see people go to jail. I bet you ain't gonna see nobody going to jail. This dude's a clown, I'm telling you.
The American people for decades. And Trump has said it is over, finished, done. He knows why his first 4 years didn't succeed, because the deep state held him down, constrained him, stabbed him in the back. And then the next 4 years, they tried to destroy his life. So there's a little bit of revenge put into this, which I'm not exactly happy about, but the revenge allows Trump to become singularly focused on what the threat is. And the threat is the deep state. And he has spent 8 years identifying every facet of it. Why do you think Doge exists? Is it empowerment for Elon Musk? Nope. Doge exists because there's nothing in the system that would allow the identification of corruption. If he went to the inspector generals, this is why he fired them all. If he had turned it over to the inspector generals, I want an audit. The audit would go on for 20 years and they would find nothing. He said, you're all fired. You're finished. Brought in Elon Musk, who brought in a bunch of 20-year-old punks who are sitting there going through it, and everybody's scared to death. And they're lying. Oh, my private information is. No. Trust me, your private information's already been violated. Okay, let's not pretend that some 20-year-old kid from Doge is going to violate it. It's been violated by the FBI, NSA, CIA, by PayPal, by everybody, by Google. You have no private information. What they're doing is destroying the deep state. They're identifying the corruption, and only an outside agency could do it. Because if you turn to the deep state and say, police yourself, that's like telling a corrupt police department, hey, why don't you make Sergeant so-and-so, the most corrupt cop of them all, he's in charge of reforming the police department. I mean, it's, let's say you have a police department in the Deep South that's heavily racist. Well, we're going to pick Bull Connors. Hey, Bull Connors, you're going to be in charge of reforming that police. Yeah, I got this one, boys. All right, let them all up. No, you
Scott,
don't have the racist go against racism.
This is the greatest, let's say, viewing of Doge that I've ever heard. This is not my view of Doge. I don't have this this view that Musk is out there. I'm just doing God's work. I'm just working to the betterment of the country. I don't have that view of Musk. I don't have that view of Trump. I agree with you on the geopolitical stage and the movements that Donald Trump is making on that stage. I strongly put to you, though, that these organizations are there to fleece the government, not necessarily to do something to the betterment of everyday regular Americans. I don't believe for a moment that Doge is out there working to my best interests. I think they're working to their own. I could be wrong. At the end of this 4 years, we could be in a situation where I'm like, hey, Scott was right. I'm completely wrong.
What's a man who is already worth $360 billion, an unbelievable amount of money. We can't even comprehend it.
Can't fathom.
What possible motivation? He's at the point right now where money doesn't matter anymore.
Money.
That's a lie. He's not at that point. All of his money comes from government contracts. All this stuff can be ripped away from him overnight. You saw how fast Kanye's money got taken away. You think that can't happen to us? You think that can't happen to us? You out of your cotton picking mind if you think that can't happen.
He matters.
Care. Money
Yes, he
doesn't
does.
matter to him. It doesn't.
I don't know why you think that it doesn't matter. The man is $350 billion. Meaning, if it didn't matter, he wouldn't have $350 billion. He got that money because he cared about the fact that he wanted more money. And if you were like
the man who bought Twitter and just said, I don't care about profitability. I am taking this and transforming it into a social media platform that will become more powerful than mainstream media, which it is today. Revolutionary. Right.
But for what person? But for what purpose, Scott? Why did he do that? So that he can get the candidate that he supported in office, so that he can use it to make more money for himself. I mean, gosh, this dude. I mean, I honestly don't think like he's paid off. I mean, I see controlled opposition in the chat. I really think he's this dumb. I really think he's this that he's this gullible. I think that's what his problem is. He's just this. What it is some of these people, like, this dude's a lifelong Republican. And in his mind, he can't fathom that nobody on his side can be a baddie. That nobody can be doing wrong on my side. And notice how he looked at the deep state. The deep state was only about trying to stop him, basically. So you're saying the deep state is basically just the Democrats? Just like that's the same thing with the whole Epstein files. Oh, it's only Democrats that were doing it. It wasn't Republicans too. This ain't a bipartisan problem. Nope, it's only one-sided. And when you start hearing this rhetoric, this is how you know you're dealing with somebody who is not grounded in reality. The problem is bipartisan. It is not just on one side. And you think, well, all it was is the people who were kind of in power or so-called running the deep state. I don't even think it's the president necessarily is the one who's running the deep state when you really get into it. They have an agenda that's working on a global agenda. It is not just about political parties and all that. It's a reason why our foreign policy on a particular country in general stays on one path and one path alone. But that's not the deep state at all, is it, Scott? No. The fact that they're getting rid of IRS workers who would go after most of the rich people who are not paying their taxes. No, that has nothing to do with it. The fact that Elon Musk himself has said that he wants to make Twitter more like WeChat in China, which would be under banking regulations at that point. He don't want to deal with no kind of regulations, and that's what he went in there and cut. He's literally just, hey, he's like he's like sitting there with a pad like a waitress would have, and walking around asking all the other billionaires, hey, while I'm in the system, anything I can get you guys? You want a side of cut this, cut that? Yeah, I can go in there. What's affecting your business? That's affecting your business? Okay, I can get it out of there. Oh, you want to make money off of this? Okay, we can do this. That's all that's happening. This is pay for play right now. And it's the kids are in the candy store. They're doing whatever the hell they want to. And they're only doing it to benefit themselves. Anybody who thinks otherwise is delusional.
Everybody who heard that business model early on went, no, you can't. Who would put $40 billion in knowing you're going to lose money? He went, I ain't going to lose money, first of all. And second of all, it has to be done to break the back. See, Elon Musk is in the business of breaking the back of corrupt entities.
Scott, Elon Musk bought Twitter, for the same reason that Bloomberg bought Bloomberg News or Bezos bought the Washington Post, rich people realize that they want to have some ability to influence the public dialogue and public discourse. Twitter was a perfect organ for him to do it. Meaning it wasn't like Twitter, he's doing this for my benefit or for free speech. He wanted his own speech. Elon Musk have gone after people on that same platform that is supposed to be a free speech platform when they deviated from the things that Elon Musk wanted to talk about. I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it. I don't have this egalitarian view of Elon Musk and Donald Trump. I do agree with you that on a geopolitical stage, they're doing God's work in regards to ending these wars. You are in full agreement. When it gets to domestic priorities, I don't buy it. I just don't buy it.
What's the alternative? What's the alternative? Let the deep state continue?
Oh, I'm not saying I like it either way. So don't get me wrong. I don't feel like I have a dog in the hunt.
We all have a dog in the hunt. We all, because we're American citizens, we all have a dog in the hunt.
Yeah,
this impacts us fundamentally. And I'm not sitting here saying that your concerns are not well grounded and legitimate. Of course they are. What I'm saying is we're in the middle of a revolution. We're in the middle of a revolution. A revolution, by definition, is the total destruction of what was there. What's replacing it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be good.
No, that's fair.
Perfect. Okay, but I am here to tell you that Elon Musk is a revolutionary. You may disagree with what he's trying to do. Vladimir Lenin was a revolutionary. We may not be happy with the Bolshevik model that came after the czars, but what we can agree upon is that the revolution destroyed czarist Russia.
What came before?
Yeah.
You are perfectly right. And I do agree with you on that front. Scott Ritter is a former UN weapons inspector. He's a weapons of mass destruction whistleblower. You can follow Scott on Twitter, no less, and you can follow him on Telegram. Scott, is there anywhere else people can find you? I just want to make sure.
I think the big one is, scottritter.com is the website, and I have a Substack there that people can subscribe, free subscription. But if you want to, donate, you can make it a paid subscription, but there's no pressure to. I have a new Telegram channel. It is a subscription-based channel. The Russia House was.
Yeah, that's enough. I definitely don't want to hear your ass no more. This dude, the level of his knees are, yes, he called, yes. And I'm sorry, Streets. I'll make sure to put it on the screen. I haven't been doing that. Yes, this one here from John H. I can't believe he just called Elon a revolutionary. Yes, he is calling Elon a revolutionary. This dude is really just. That's why I put that little image of him drinking the Kool-Aid, because I'm like, I can't believe this dude really believes this. He's gotten the and I saw somebody up there. A comment that they said in defense, he did do this with the Democrats. Yeah, Chris H. said to play devil's advocate, there was a time during the war on terror when Scott Ritter thought the Democrats could stop the war machine. If you think anybody can stop the war machine, you're an idiot. They literally just went up, I think, from 750 billion to close to 900 billion that's in the Republican budget. And he said, they're going to cut it. That's the one thing you got to learn about this Trump administration. You say something one day, an hour later, he can make you a liar because he changes his mind that damn much. I'm hoping these people I'm hoping these people clicking views and not serious. What did you say, Hob? Says Scott just fundamentally doesn't understand capitalism and empire. He thinks Trump is different because he talks differently and put donors in cabinet instead of the swamp creatures they donate to. Well, I think he buys into that because his ideology leans him to go that way. Like I remember I tried to watch Redacted not that long ago, and Redacted would go into this whole hubbub about, oh, well, we're calling out both sides until election time came around, and they jumped straight back into their Republican ways. And my thing is, I criticize the Trump administration. I've criticized the Biden administration, and now I'm back criticizing the Trump administration again. And if they do something that I agree with and I like, I'm gonna give the credit. But I have not seen anything that I need to give credit to yet. I mean, nothing that I give a damn about. I don't care about, oh well, we changed the Gulf of Mexico into Gulf of America. I don't care about no dumb shit like that. But people like, I don't know, some of these people care about that. He may Willie, he may be a fundamentally nice guy. That's what I'm responding to. Willie, he may be a fundamentally nice guy, but he's not that bright on everything. And like when I first caught on to it, because I worked Navy, while I was in the Navy, I worked in weapons. When I heard some of the stuff that he was saying, I was like, this dude don't know what the hell he's talking about. This dude completely has no clue what he's talking about. Now, he might understand ground weapons and nukes or something. I don't know what his specialty is, but he definitely understands like battle formations and tanks and different things like that on the ground. But that's about it. I leave it there. What was the other one? Well, I can't show that one video because, oh, wait a minute. That's right. The video is playing. The video is playing. So, I had a couple of tech ones. Is this the one? Okay. I guess I'll mix it up. Oh, he was a Marine. Well, that's what I'm saying. He understands stuff on the ground. He understands not only because Marines a lot of times are, well, he understands ground equipment, ground weaponry very well. I'll give him that. But when it comes into like air warfare or sea warfare, he does not know what he's talking about at all. Like he even started talking about how Russia would give the U.S. a run for their money if it was, just ship to ship, and it's like, no, they wouldn't. You have no clue. They would get decimated. And this isn't somebody who I'm saying it because I was former military. I know. I'm trying to figure out how much I can say, because some stuff you got a certain amount of years clearance wise that you can talk about. I had a NATO top secret clearance. So basically, I knew what the capabilities of our military was as far as naval weaponry and what our allies' weaponry was. And when I say naval weaponry, I don't only mean Navy, I mean Marine Corps also, because Marine Corps falls upon the Department of the Navy. Yeah, you're right about that. When you could take a man out the military, but you can't really take the military out of a man. I mean, once that's in you and you live that lifestyle for a while, it does become a part of you, especially when your job is so entrenched in it. Because the reason why I pay attention so much to foreign policy is because I was in country overseas. I've been on the ground in different countries. I'll leave it at that. And when a president says something, I've had to be one of those people who now I got to look over my shoulder a whole lot more, because some off the wall shit that he said now has consequences on me. When you see a random thing happen on the news, there's somebody who's on the other side of that who's getting a phone call or a text is telling him he needs to suit up and he's about to go somewhere. And I mean, just on the individual level, I don't think people connect that reality for some people, which is funny. You're reminding me that Scott Ritter was a Marine. I gotta give Kit some shit about that. Be like, yo, Kit, you better come get your boy. As y'all know, Kit Cabello, Heartlands Media. Shout out to him. He's a Marine also. I'm pretty sure that he's not as delusional into believing that BRICS is completely just done now. Let's see. That's right. I'll mix it up, throw in a little bit of humor. Remember I was telling y'all about like when everything was like really bad, I couldn't get any signal. Well, here is something that was happening in a neighborhood very, very close to me. Oh shoot, where's the sound?
No te da vergüenza, güey. Tan joven, no mames. Hurry the fuck up, whoa. Get the fuck where you going, dog. Hey, ahora sí, por favor. No hay problema, suelta. No mames, güey, no estén viniendo aquí. Aquí no venga, menos esta calle, güey. Menos esta calle anden viniendo. Aquí en Handon no vayan con la raza a chingar, cabrón, ven a otro lado. Ahí está tu puto, güey. Tumbando los cables, güey, le puede caer a la gente, no mames. Y este güey todavía se pone bravo. Ese puto, ponte bravo, culero. Aquí no vengas aquí, güey. Ve a otro punto de barrio, güey. Aquí no andes viniendo, güey. You're not taking it, my boy. Just leave it. We're not gonna come back. You're not coming back. Get out. I know we're not coming back. Leave it. My boy, I've been in your position. It's not the way, my boy. No, güey, aquí no. Ponte a trabajar, cabrón.
All right. Yeah, this is a short video, but this is what I wanted to show y'all last week. Yes. These dudes is literally out here cutting down power lines obviously for the copper and all that stuff on the inside. Yes, they are still from the municipal power grid. Yes, Chris H, that's what they're doing. Sorry, I wasn't interpreting what they were saying. What they were saying was he was like, no, bring that shit back here. I'm trying to figure if I should, fuck it. He was like, bring that shit back here, you asshole. Don't, you're not going to fucking take that. Leave that right there. What are you guys doing? You know, in a nutshell, he's basically telling him, no, you're not going to fucking take this shit. Leave this alone. Stop taking this shit. Because he decides he just wants to, and you know what they're going to do. They're literally going to go take all that to recycle it. And so when we had power outages in my area, because this is literally, I don't know exactly what street this is on, but this is like a couple of minutes from where I live. I just saw this song. I was like, wait a minute. Well, so when all of a sudden, my shit went bad during the show, this was allegedly, because this was on the news. This happened not that long ago. Over in my area. But yeah, I just want to show that for a little bit of humor. Oh, wait a minute. Do I got the AI clip? Hold on. Let's see if I got the AI clip. Dang it. But I had a couple of other AI clips that I wanted to show you all. And let's see, was it Artrus who sent it to me? I can't remember who sent it to me, but it was showing some stuff. Oh, wait a minute. I might have it on I might have it in my messages. let's see. That was that one. I guess I didn't have it in here, but oh, well, yes, I do. So it's Instagram that it's on. Let me click on that one and show you guys, because I kind of wanted to go into some of the tech stuff real quick, because I think that that's going to be a big story that we're going to need to keep our eyes on, especially with some of the AI news that's been going around lately. Let's see, is that the one? Yeah. And
indicates each employee, and the number shows how many cups of coffee they've made. You can see that an employee named Anna is working diligently, making a total of 20 cups. Meanwhile, Olga is hiding in the corner, slacking off, and has only made 3 cups. All of this is tracked by the AI, which then reports the findings to the boss. In Amazon warehouses, similar technology is used to monitor employees. They even allow AI to generate termination notices for workers with low productivity. But it doesn't stop there. Before long, everything around us, from cars to ships to our daily lives, could fall under AI surveillance. Everything will be tracked, monitored, calculated, and analyzed. If you're wondering what AI is really capable of, well, this is your answer. It's a bit scary. No wonder Elon Musk gave this video an exclamation mark. This is footage from a coffee shop using AI to monitor its employees. The blue text with white letters indicates each employee, and the number shows how many cups of coffee they've made. You can see that an employee named Anna is working diligently, making a total of 20 cups. Meanwhile, Olga is hiding in the corner, slacking off, and has only made 3 cups. All of this is tracked by the AI, which then reports the findings to the boss. In Amazon warehouses, similar technology is used to monitor employees. They even allow AI to generate termination notices for workers with low productivity. But it doesn't stop there. Before long, everything around us, from cars to ships to our daily lives, could fall under AI surveillance. Everything will be tracked, monitored, calculated, and analyzed. If you're wondering what AI is really capable of, well, this is your answer.
all right.
It's a bit scary. No wonder Elon Musk.
Okay, so I can stop that. It's funny. I guess Chris H said being in the Army must have been rough. Being in the American military in general is not an easy thing, because the first thing they do in the military is their goal is to break you down so that you are compliant. And through that process of breaking you down, they break you down to so-called build you back up. And you get accustomed to a whole different worldview and lifestyle in the military. You don't spend a whole lot of time focusing on, especially when you're younger and you're living in the barracks or you're on a ship. You're not focused on most things because a lot of that's taken care of. You're not paying rent. You're not paying utilities. You don't have to worry about a parking situation. I mean, most of that stuff's taken care of. Even your meals are taken care of. So you're basically just having to focus only on your job for the most part. And when you get into civilian world, it's a whole nother ball game. Chris H asked, which country did I plan on? What country you plan on bugging out to? I can't say that quite yet, but I know which citizenship I'll probably get. And Chris, Thomas says, I took 2 truckloads of copper to the local recycling after we tore down 2 old garages and shacks. They weighed and gave me $40. Dang, you must not have very much. I've taken probably stuff that weighed probably about like 10 pounds and gotten probably more than that. I don't know. It all depends on how much copper you have, if it's clean copper and all that. So yes, because out here in California, you still need to do stuff like recycle. I keep cans, I keep copper, I keep all of that. Bottles, all that to recycle, because need every little bit I can. Where else? Let's see. That's AI one. There was one other AI. Did I put that on the screen yet? Hold on a second. I got another AI video that I want to show you guys. And it's going to dovetail into another video that I have towards the end. Let's see. Oh, there it is. So hold on a second. It'll probably start to autoplay, but I'll start it back. Okay. So here we go. Let me put it on the screen. But yeah, we talked about the Zelensky streets. We talked about the Zelensky situation. That's part of what got things kind of off the rail. Yeah, you might want to check out some of that stream. Although I don't know, from my end, it was kind of rough because I had worse tech issues that stream than I even did this one. All right, here's one I want y'all to check out.
Police know everywhere you drive. They can tell when you're driving to work, picking up your kids from school, or going to a doctor's appointment. And many residents aren't happy about it.
My name is Lee Schmidt, and I live in Norfolk, Virginia. I was stationed originally in Norfolk on board the USS Bainbridge, and I retired here just recently. So I was stationed on Little Creek. I was driving to work, and I started driving by these little cameras on poles. And while I was sitting at a stoplight waiting to get it to work one day, I took a picture of one. And I reached out to my local council people with the photo of one and just kind of asked, what were they? Well, I got a response back saying that they were the flock cameras. And I started to do a bit of research on them, and I really realized how intrusive they were.
In 2023, Norfolk Police partnered with a tech company called Flock Safety to install more than 170 automatic license plate reader cameras throughout the city. These cameras are different from a red light camera or speed camera, which are triggered by a specific violation. They watch every car that drives by.
You can actually create a traceable path of the car moving through the city as long as it's being picked up by the flock cameras.
Correct. And it would be difficult to drive anywhere of any distance without running into a camera somewhere.
I don't like being tracked every day. I don't like when I drive by the intersection here at Ward's Corner, then being able to tell which way I'm going. There's 4 cameras there. When I researched the cameras, I did learn about them using artificial intelligence. That when you drive by them, it's not just a snapshot.
When and also for some people that are like, yo, I don't get why that's such a big problem. Keep listening to this, and it gets a little bit further down. You'll see where the problem is if you don't have a problem with it so far.
Out of your license plate number. It reads the demographics of your vehicle. It's a brown car. It's got fender damage. And then it can build a profile of where you've been. And that tracking ability is quite nerve-wracking.
Once it uploads driver's information to the cloud, Flock uses AI to create a fingerprint police can use to track the same vehicle as it moves through the city. Flock says its cameras are in more than 5,000 communities across 47 states. Norfolk's police chief commented that the use of Flock cameras in neighboring cities creates a, quote, curtain of technology. Flock's cameras store the data they collect, and police can access it without a warrant.
There's no controls on how it can be used. Someone can go out and pull that data whenever they want if they just don't like you. There's no limits or requirements on how often it's audited to see when the police officers have pulled up the information.
In Kansas, police were caught using Flock cameras to stalk their exes. In California, police departments may have violated state law by sharing their Flock data outside the state. And similar databases have been hacked, revealing private data that was offered up for sale on the dark web.
And I'm worried about someone getting in and getting that data and access to the cameras and to be able to know if I'm home or if I'm out of the state. Is it a good time to break into my home? Is it a good time to track my wife? the amount of abuse that can be done by just tracking my vehicle is pretty grave.
This type of prolonged warrantless surveillance is unconstitutional. The Supreme Court has ruled the prolonged use of cell phone location data to follow someone is a search that requires a warrant. And the federal court that covers Norfolk ruled that Baltimore's use of surveillance planes to monitor the city was an illegal, warrantless search. Tracking people everywhere they go is a search, and giving the police arbitrary power to track everyone in Norfolk is unreasonable. That's why Lee Schmidt has teamed up with IJ to file a federal lawsuit challenging the constitutionality of this surveillance program.
With this lawsuit, I hope to end the illegal and unconstitutional surveillance. I hope that my kids don't have to be illegally surveilled, and I hope that other people don't fall to the abuses of the surveillance.
All right, let me stop that. Okay, hopefully nothing starts to autoplay. Stop cam. There we go. Let me hop over to that. Where was that at? Okay, cool. I guess I can close that one out. Trying to remember, what was it? It was AI. What was it? Think. Coming online. See, I think it was some kind of system that they were talking about, AI that's supposed to come online, I think in 2026 or something like that. What was it? I guess I'll come back to that one and I'll show you guys the other video that blew my mind. Let's see. Oh, let me go back. Yeah, well, I don't know if you guys seen the movie Person of Interest. That's what I thought of when I saw this AI stuff. Because he was using the AI almost like a predictive program to kind of predict the behavior of people and try to almost like a pre-crime kind of thing. And it looks like that could be a possibility of the pre-crime initiatives that they could have in the future. Also with the data mining that they're doing on everybody's, what you're buying, what you're clicking on, what you're watching. Their ways of watching and tracking us are just getting more and more invasive to the point where they're going to literally know everything you're doing at all times. And that's part of what, part of, I can't remember was it Peter Thiel who said that, but that's part of the goal. That's what they want to get it to. Abundance Protocol says, so I missed what happened with Chris last week and I had to listen to how it all started. That mofo was on some irresponsible stuff, maybe drunk drinking from that solo way in the wrong. Yeah, it was a lot of alcohol involved. I definitely believe that. But I mean, I'll see if he wants to talk about it or not. I mean, I doubt it, but at this point, I'm like, hey, it is what it is. Hopefully we can be adults about stuff but we'll see. That's funny. Chris H says, I saw a video where Trump expressed that he doesn't even grasp the relationship between the US and Japan. Trump doesn't grasp anything. All you got to do is go back through a history of Trump. I mean, Trump overvalued his properties, not knowing what overvalued them in a way to, like, he was just coming up with fake numbers for what stuff was valued at so he can boost his net worth. And I mean, which is fraud, flat out fraud. But people who they're like, oh well, they're out to get Trump. Yeah, they're out to get him because he's doing stuff. I'm not saying he's the only one, but he's doing a lot of stuff. And all it's done is, as he's gotten more and more power, he's felt more of a reason to continue doing more and more stuff and just doubling down. And that I've always felt like since the right is always pushed that government is bad, none of them have ever taken the time to try to learn anything about the government. Back onto the whole Trump thing, what I was saying is since he was basically doing nothing but fraud and manipulation when his businesses started going down. Think this man bankrupted a casino and has ran a scam after scam after scam. The thing which held his bank, the thing which helped his net worth and kept him afloat is he took in cash from all over the world from God knows who. And so Trump's businesses were a huge business for money laundering for most of the criminals around the world. And so Trump is only kept up through corruption. And I'm pretty sure some of them, to a degree, he knows about. Some of them he probably openly knew they were corrupt. Yes, preaching to the choir. Our cops back home are, well, theirs is still in KC, but in Kansas are wild. I mean, crazy enough, I grew up with plenty of these jackasses. Yes, they tracked BLM protesters in 2020 with police drones. The U.S. Army said the police drones are more advanced than military ones. Yeah, because the police drones that they're getting are from a private company. I don't know if you guys remember, but for half a minute, there was this show that came on. I want to say it, I don't even think it, I think it maybe had 6 episodes. And it was a cop show where they were trying to partner this female cop up with AI. Trying to remember what was it called. Lady Cop Show AI. Let's see if that brings up anything. But this show is something like something PD. I don't know if y'all can think of it, but I don't know. Of course, it's bringing up person of interest, but that's not the one I'm talking about. I don't know. If you guys remind me next week, I'll probably have researched what that show is and be able to tell you, but that show, I mean, it didn't last very long. No, none of those. Oh well, I guess I'll have to wait till next week to tell you. But they're trying to get her to use her technology, and she really didn't want to do it. And it got kind of crazy. Let's say Operation Cut Off Ties Before the Financial Reset is my guess. What else makes sense, if any? I don't know. It could get interesting too with that. Trump philosophy, I believe, is cut financial ties before America's financial reset. Thinking it might make sense whether good or bad. Well, I think people like him are going to be insulated in the first place. Shahid Bolson, one of the best political commentary. People need to dump Ritter and listen to Shahid on the middle. Oh, yes, definitely. I definitely second that. He had a really good video that he did on Trump's gold card also that I think people should check out. I'm trying to think. Man, I don't know why. Because for me, when something gets stuck in my head, it's like, I got to figure this damn thing out. I don't know. Maybe y'all can help me figure this out. What was it? What was the Superman show that was out? One of the newer Superman shows that were on TV. Smallville? I think it might have been Smallville that I'm thinking of. I think the girl was in Smallville. Okay, now y'all getting a peek into how I research some things. Okay, Smallville. Okay, Kristen Curick is the lady. And let's see if I can find other stuff that she was in, because I think she was the star of that show. I don't know. Wait a minute. 17? No, that's not it. Thought that was her, but maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe it's somebody else who looks similar. Anyway, let's carry on. No, it wasn't a. It was it a female Jamaican? No, it wasn't Jamaican. I think she was kind of like, she looked kind of similar to that Kristen Curick lady that was in Smallville. So I can't. I don't know if somebody remembers that show. Please let me know. But it is bugging the hell out of me that I can't remember it. What was it that I was looking for? Because there was one other video that I wanted to show before this last video that I have. And this last video I have goes into AI also, but oh, it was something I can't remember exactly what it was. I kind of briefly caught the story and heard a little bit about it, but it's about some kind of AI program that it's supposed to go fully online in like 2026. You guys, I don't know, weird stories like that you don't really hear. AI, that's what it is. AI super intelligence coming under Trump. So this will be AI that will be, it'll be almost a self-learning type of AI that we'll have to deal with. So I'm not sure. Billy Butcher actor. Hold on. You might, let's see what you're talking about there, Chris H. I'm trying to remember. Billy Butcher. Well, I don't know. Why does that name sound familiar? Oh yeah. Oh, from Billy Butcher's from that's Carl Urban. Carl Urban. Okay. Well, Dread, not Dread. But yeah, Carl Urban is that guy. But no, this one was like just a regular cop show. And it was almost like it gave me like OCP vibes. Y'all remember RoboCop back in the day? Was it APD? Let me see. APD cop show. Let's see if that was it. So I want to say it was something like PD, like that's what it was called. It was called APD. Let me see if I can show y'all what the APD was. Now, I might even bring up the preview. Show. Actually, let's just, why don't I try to see if I can find a preview? That way I can show you guys what the hell I'm talking about. Yeah, but APD, like I watched it and it was kind of interesting, but it didn't catch anybody's attention. And it ended up getting canceled. I feel like I'm not gonna have it. Let me put TV show. TV show, what was it, 2017? Yeah, 2017. What the hell? This search is horrible. It's literally bringing up everything but that show. All right, that's what if I Googled it, probably, and then pulled up a video, it might do it. I'm trying to remember who was even in the show. Okay, so TV series 2017. Okay, that's who it is. Okay. Ha, found it. Here, now let me put this on the screen, share. Yeah, the name of the show was APD. APD TV series, share. Okay, where's this?
We have a bit of a celebrity with us. Mr. Gideon Reeves of Reeves Industries.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
A friend was killed a month and a half ago. No! May I say how sorry I was to have heard of the tragedy?
I want justice for Elliot James Sully. Taught me how to ride a skateboard when I was 9. Helped me break into the MIT physics lab when I was 16. And he gave his life for mine. Since then, the 13th district has been too busy laying off cops
Mr. Reeves,
to even mount an investigation.
I understand that you're upset.
Give me the 13th district to run.
Excuse me.
You turned me down, and you can explain to the taxpayers why you turned down almost $100 million in free money.
Mr. Reeves, you've been accused of grandstanding.
Thank you.
What do you say to people who say this is just a publicity stunt?
My best friend bled to death in my arms, and I want to find the man that made that happen. Each of you protects and serves 215 people. The APB app, real-time crime reports. They just became your partners.
Why is some rich guy just allowed to buy justice?
We have got an engineering problem here. I'm an engineer.
Like, I really appreciate technology, but it doesn't solve cases. Cops do.
You haven't met my technology.
You must be kidding me.
Next generation taser.
Bad guys get toy guns too?
Actually, not a toy.
Hey, you all right?
Sorry, he's fine. I pay that guy a lot of money. And we're live. We're sending a list of suspects now. You're looking for a killer.
I'm on it.
Police, open up!
Suspect is fleeing. We're in pursuit.
He's heading south.
Gideon, was that you?
Yeah, head in the air. Police, drop your weapons. They're getting away.
No. Gideon, can you give me a view of the license plate?
What'd you just do, bro?
It's just a filtering algorithm.
Wow. So you impressed with my technology?
Maybe.
Gideon, we have had a spike in the downloads of the APB app, and not just the 13th, the whole city.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this is the shit that I was telling y'all about. Like, I was like, there's a show that I know that talked about this, and that's the reason why when I'm seeing a lot of this, I was like, you see what I mean? It gives OCP vibes, like how they decided that they were going to take RoboCop and put him in this specific precinct, and they were going to run it out of that precinct. They use Detroit in RoboCop, and this is Chicago. I don't know why you always want to do it in these Midwest cities. Which, when my cousin was just talking about, man, stuff is crazy here in Kansas. Don't be surprised if states like Kansas, Colorado, Oklahoma, Louisiana are the states that they try to roll this kind of stuff out in. They will do some of the bigger stuff, like I showed you guys in my area. When I went over to that park in Huntington Park, how they had the robot little cop thing out there that records everything, and it reports back to the Huntington Park police, which that can be confusing. There's a Huntington Park and a Huntington Beach, which they're not exactly right next to each other, which that would seem like it. Huntington Beach is actually very more upper scale or whatever. But I wanted to show you all that because all of this stuff is building to like, and I don't know if y'all saw Person of Interest or not, but for those who haven't seen Person of Interest, this is what, this is what that's leading to. Honestly, I almost want to show a preview of Person of Interest so y'all can get the reference for those who are not understanding like what I'm trying to convey. Person of Interest trailer. Okay. So yeah, that's it. Hold on a second. Mute. Pause. All this technology is leading us to a future of realities like this. So here is person of interest. Share.
You are being watched. The government has a secret system, a machine that spies on you every hour of every day. I know because I built it. I designed the machine to detect acts of terror, but it sees everything. Violent crimes involving ordinary people, people like you. Crimes the government considered irrelevant. They wouldn't act, so I decided I would. But I needed a partner, someone with the skills to intervene. Hunted by the authorities. We work in secret. You'll never find us. But victim or perpetrator, if your number's up, we'll find you.
And so this is how they're going to leak this stuff to us. This is how they're going to try to convince us of this stuff. Sell it to us in this show. Oh, they're going to use it to stop violent crimes because the software in there, it predicts your crime. It listens to voice levels and it analyzes if it hears threats in your voice. It checks your shopping record. So let's say, for instance, they hear an argument that a couple are having, and they notice that that man starts looking up guns. All of a sudden, they see that he buys a gun. They see that he starts following around that ex that was separated from. But they start seeing his car is now, or his car, or look up his phone that his towers are in the same location as hers. They're able to track down that, okay, they had an argument. This guy has now purchased a gun. He's now hanging around the area of this scorned lover. Yes, Will Smith movie Enemy of the State tried to show us. That's what I'm hitting at. All of this stuff is showing you. Even if you look into what was the other one Tom Cruise was in? The Tom Cruise movie. It's right. Minority Report. In Minority Report, remember how they were showing how as you walk through, it reads your retinas and it automatically starts marketing a product to you, individual commercials. They're already trying to do that by going through your algorithm, kind of like Eagle Eye. Yes, all of these things are programming us and getting us comfortable with the future of the direction that we're about to go in. I got one other video that I want to show you guys before I get ready to get out of here. Where is it at? Here, hold on one sec. Now, some of the stuff that it's done for noble purposes, and there are people out there who are doing things for noble purposes, but regardless if you do it for a noble purpose or not, it's not always about what it was meant for. It's about how it's eventually applicated. And this guy's thing kind of reminds me similar, like the exoskeleton type suits. It would kind of fall in that category. But it's not quite that. And there's other videos I can show you guys, which I'll probably bring up because as this starts to become more of a thing and more of a reality, it's going to be something that we're going to need to focus on more. And I don't know how many other channels are talking about this, but this is something that needs to be on their radars. And hopefully it is. I mean, if they need me to come on and talk about it, I'm more than happy to also. Because that's one thing I want to make sure that I get back to. I want to do more reaching out to other channels and and doing work with them. And but yeah, let me start this. Check this out. I wonder, did I mean to start 5 minutes in or not? For some reason, I have it say this must have been where I wanted to start. So here, let me start.
Some of their invention allow things to be done through voice commands, but the true brilliance of being able to control and do things just by thinking is impressive.
This is upper imp by robotic arm that uses brain signals to operate. This device mechanicability deploys 8 degrees of motion. That is, it can rotate along the shoulder level, along y-axis, x-axis, elbow level.
Do things just by thinking is impressive.
This is upper imp by robotic arm that uses brain signals to operate. This device mechanicability deploys 8 degrees of motion. That is, it can rotate along the shoulder level, along y.
To get started with their product development, they first sought to understand the challenges that people with disabilities face. By interacting with people in the community for a while and talking to experts in disability support, they determined that a prosthetic would be a good support for their target beneficiaries of this innovation. Here's how it works.
This hand uses a battery of 12 volts. The hand, we have made it using available resources like e-waste, wood, rubber, leather materials, plastics, and even the wires.
Their goal is simply to help people living with disability live normal lives. Here's how the device works.
This hand is being controlled by this neural rod biopotential headset receiver that monitors or taps the brain signals, and it extracts these specific features of these brain signals that reflects the intent of the user. The arm, that is, from the intraparenchymal single neuron units. When ion concentration changes inside the neuron cell membrane, an electric field is set up, and this signal, it is being tapped or it goes through various tissues through the brain, and the signal can travel through the pia mater, arachnoid, and it can travel through the skull, through the skin. Then this gadget taps those transductions of those ion currents that are or electrical wave that the brain is releasing. This machine, it can convert that signal, or it taps and the signal processes, converts this signal into a valid electric current through subcomputation, and the final current is being transmitted into this arm via radio waves, 315 megahertz. Those signals, they go into the biomechatronic hand or the arm operating system. Then they are being aligned in a way that they will be converted to come into to become a current, a valid current that will drive linear motors. These linear motors will drive the arm, and they will close and open, making the whole hand, to pick as per how you are thinking, as per how you are controlling it, using your intentions.
Now, think about this technology, which they've done. They found a way to create sensors that can sense this brainwave signals through the skull. I mean, from the brain through the skull, through the flesh, through the skin, without having to drill into somebody's head like Neuralink. But I guarantee you, they're going to try to find a way to stop these young men from doing this, because their goal is they want to drill into your head. They want to make sure that it's not a control that you can use and then stop using. They're going on to make sure that they have always a back door into more and more control. And that is what all of this has been about. Sorry for yawning on you guys. But yeah, I recommend you guys check out the rest of this. I'm not going to show any more. Is this African man's AI prosthetic shocked U.S. engineers. So this is the video. It says bye-bye disabilities. And I think with this this application, if they share this technology with China, with a lot of the different technology that China has been working on, as far as dealing with people who have lost limbs and things like that, and or have issues where they have mobility issues. This can really give a lot of the Chinese technology a huge jump start. And I don't know, or maybe somehow this might get into the West. But I don't know. I think that we're going to see a acceleration of AI technology over the next couple of years, and things could get very interesting and not in a good way. And as the system completely comes online and jobs start getting dropped, I know some people have beliefs of that they're going to give us UBI. I believe that they don't give a damn about us, and they ain't giving us no UBI, especially not this administration right now. Oh, I put that one on the screen. Hold my drink at the strip club is all I say. It's going to be somebody. Definitely. Yes, Bad Cookies is just me tonight. If you missed the first part of the show, make sure you go check that out. The first hour or so kind of goes into some of what went on, and last week's show, you can probably catch some of that, and it'll fill you in on everything. Kiwi Man 95 says spying on people can steal a lot of new technology. That's why let me put it on the screen. Spying on people can steal a lot of new technology. That's why governments want to invest in these technologies to stay ahead of the opposition. Definitely. Snap, the new Social Security Disability Act. You got to go. Yeah. You would have to go to work. They'd be like, yo, I don't care if you're disability. We got a machine for your ass now. Get your ass to work. Oh, you can't use being in a wheelchair no more. That's wild to think, but hey, it might get like that at some point. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I am going to hop off of here, go get something to eat. It's been a lot on my mind. Doing this stream, this in general had me stressed all week. And for those who watched last week, and you guys can understand why my anxiety was a little up. Not to mention, I'm training on a new position at work, and I've never had a desk job. So I'm a below average typer, and for this type of job, you need to be a very good typer. So I'm having my growing pains on that end, but hopefully it turns into an avenue to propel me in the future. Give me more skills in a sense. I guess on that note, I'm going to leave it there. Much appreciation for everybody who tuned in to catch this. And for those who tuned in right now and you kind of miss what's going on, hey, hop back to the beginning, and even I know I'm gonna have a couple of tech issues that I had in there. That's partially why my camera is off. I prefer to leave my camera on so you guys can catch my live reactions and emotions and all that in my face, because I know I'm not good at hiding my my feelings, because I definitely wear them on my face. But if you guys have stories that you see, I mean, like Ladarius has been, hooking me up with some good stuff to go over. I mean, I can't get to everything. Some people like Yonina just buries me and stuff. I love you, Yonina, but whoo, you be sending a lot. I'll be like, oh, hold on. I try to catch up. Shoot, I'm about to lose my signal anyway. But that I appreciate all of y'all. And hopefully I have a safe rest of the weekend and a blessed week. That said, I'm out.